Ooh, that one. I made that one strong. It's like half whiskey, half Coke.
Episode 13 brought to you by Half Whiskey and Half Coke. Already off to.
Lucky number 13. Lucky episode number 13 of the only Reseller Collab podcast.
Broadcast on YouTube and other podcasting sites,
including YouTube.
Also on YouTube.
Simulcast in Espanol de el YouTube.
On YouTube.
So I'm drinking Rebecca Creek.
Imagine that.
Whiskey. Rebecca Creek whiskey. And you were drinking.
Apparently shit water.
Yeah, he's been smelling his cup because something stinks inside of his cup.
I've narrowed it down to 3 things.
That cup looks dirty as fuck.
It does kind of look dirty.
If you can't see it looks like it's got hard water spots all over it.
Actually, I think that was the coffee I had in it, coffee and milk I had in it before, but...
Did you use one cup all day long?
No, just now, just a minute ago.
I want to conserve water.
No, I had it in that brown cup, and I thought the cup might have been what stunk, although it was clean. So I poured everything in here. It still stunk, so it's either the ice, the Captain Morgan, or the Coke. But our water has been really weird lately. Not weird. They've had the brain-eating amoeba. Yeah, in it. So it's
God. Could you imagine if you had a fucking brain-eating amoeba in your brain, eating your brain?
I mean, would you know? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but either way, so they've been like doing these chlorine burns on the water.
Maybe that's what happened to Luke Perry. Maybe that's what caused his stroke.
Too soon. That was literally 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
I threw that in there because I got a feeling Amanda really liked Luke Perry.
No, she's gonna kill you.
She probably will. But anyways.
Anyway, so back to my story.
They were burning water?
Yeah, that chlorine burn. Basically, the water smells like bleach. But we have a water filter. Like a gravity feed water filter that we use for drinking water, but our refrigerator still has, it's still got the city water running through it with a filter, but I'm wondering.
Yeah, you never trust that.
Yeah, I know.
Never trust that crap.
But I'm wondering if maybe that's what it is.
Does it smell like rotten eggs?
A little bit.
Could be sulfur. Yeah. Could be sulfur if it's like rotten eggs, which isn't totally uncommon. That happens every once in a while, but that's sulfur.
You actually got a new water system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Water softener. Yep. Why don't you tell the story about how you almost got bent over on that one?
No, it wasn't almost. I wasn't going to get bent over, but there was. I did hear the weirdest sales pitch I think I've ever heard. We had a single owner plumber, did some neighborhood installs, and so we told him, hey, we want to get this system installed. And so he said, well, buy this system, $700. He's like, and then give me $700 and I'll install it. I'm like, okay, no problem. So that we buy the system, it gets here, and the guy ends up missing like 2 appointments for various reasons or whatever. And so I'm getting frustrated because the guy just, he just seems like he's not, like for instance, like he was supposed to be here on 9:30 on a Saturday and we didn't hear from him until 10:30, and wife had a birthday party she had to go to and all that other good stuff. So I was like, well, let me call somebody else. So I call this company called Plumbing. And so they come out to the house the next day. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, let's see what they have to say. And before the guy Like, he's a very nice guy, super nice guy, very honest. But his sales pitch was, before I knew how much it cost, before I knew really anything, and before he really knew anything, he said, "Let me tell you kind of a little bit about it." He's like, "We're like Nordstrom." And if you don't have a Nordstrom, it's a very fancy clothes store. Things cost, you know, way too much money. So he's like, think of us as a Nordstrom, and think of other plumbing companies as like TJ Maxx or Ross. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, that is the worst analogy sales like pitch ever. I think of Nordstrom, I think of overpriced crap that I can get for the same, just much cheaper. You know, I can get the same thing super, super cheap at Ross.
He
Like,
didn't know who he was
uh,
talking to, did he?
yeah, that's true. That's true. He didn't know. But I was like, man, I was like, that doesn't make any damn sense at all. And I'm like, so I just went with it. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I'm gonna overpay. That's what you're saying. And so he says, if you bought the system from us and we installed it, it'd be roughly $6,000. I'm like, fucking hell. Like, this guy's gonna, I'm doing everything for 1,400 with this other dude, and this guy's wanting $6,000 to install this. I'm like, well, that ain't happening. I said, I have my own system. So, you know, how much would it cost to, I mean, it's sitting by the garage wall where the lines, the cutoff valve is. And I'm like, how
So
much would it just,
let me interject here. What it is I don't know if you said it's a water softener system, which basically has an in and an out, and all you have to do is plumb the in and the out. That's it.
yeah, in the line, out the line,
it
or out of the softener, into the softener, whatever.
45
Anyways,
minute job tops for a
yeah,
plumber.
yeah. And so he said, for us with owner supplied equipment, it would cost, I think it was like $2,300 just to put it, I mean, literally just to tee off 90-degree these pipes. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I don't get it. He's like, and that doesn't even include running your drain line. And so he was telling me that he hooks the drain line into like the existing, house drain line and all that. And I'm like, dude, like, if it's 2,300 and that doesn't even include the drain line, I said, I'm not interested at all, and I don't want to waste your time. And he's like, yeah, I totally understand. He's like, but you got to think of it this way. It's like, it's kind of the difference in the price of a Porsche versus a Toyota Camry. And I'm like, and I didn't say anything because the guy was super nice. I said, but I wanted to say, dude, look, I can't tell you why your labor costs 10 times more than this dude, but I can tell you why a Porsche costs 10 times more than a Camry. Like, there's a clear quality, distinction between the two. I mean,
There's a upper limit of like how good you can do at a single job.
yeah.
There's not like you can't go that far
He's a
above and
well,
beyond a
the,
service like it.
the correct analogy would have been, it's like changing the oil on a Porsche versus changing the oil on a Camry. And I'm like, well, I feel like that wouldn't make any difference at all. Okay, maybe because it's a Porsche, you may have to use special oil or whatever. I'm not a car guy, but it may cost a little bit more, but not like 10 times the cost. Like that, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pay. I mean, in two, like, if I paid the guy, I mean, God, it was probably gonna cost $4,000. But if I paid him $4,000, I bet the quality of work would have been just outstanding. It would have been great. But there's no way I did not. I didn't
I'm
see the
willing to
value.
bet it would have been the same as that first guy that you were going to hire for $700.
The only difference that I noticed was that the drain line was going to run into the existing drain line of the house, where this guy, it drains into like this little, like, it drains out of the garage with a PVC pipe. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, but I mean, I'll save the $3,000 and fucking go to Hawaii. Like, I don't, I'm not interested in paying that much money for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But plumbing, dude, plumbers, I don't know much about the profession, but I imagine they can make some good money.
I think
Like,
that's part of why they can charge so much.
and that's true. I mean, think about this. Think about you have like shit spewing out of your toilet. Like, here's my credit card. Just fucking stop it. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, I think that's a good business. That's a good business to be in.
Yeah, pretty much any business that you can't, somebody can't just do it yourself it.
Well, yeah, and I even thought about. I mean, I looked at for a very brief moment. I looked at installing it myself, and I mean, I got like 10 seconds in. I'm like, no, this isn't happening. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to do that.
But you got it up and running, right?
Yeah, it's running. It's awesome. It's my hair is like super super soft, which I didn't really even.
Isn't
I
that
didn't really.
crazy?
It's really crazy, but I didn't really. I didn't even think that was it did that, but
Makes your skin softer and stuff too.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if you
Yeah,
have really hard water, like here in our town, we have extremely hard water. I mean, to the point to where, um, you know, when you run the shower, it starts turning all chalky if you don't wash it off and stuff. The
hmm
sinks start turning chalky. The
yeah,
toilets start going, brown and stuff. It's like, and then you run the water softener and everything's fine.
yeah, and we have a tankless water heater too. So, like, it was really affecting our water heater because the hard water was building up calcium, and that
Yeah.
calcium was starting to chip off and getting into the lines. It was screwing up our washing machine.
Already.
Yeah, it was screwing up our washing machine, screwing up our dishwasher. All our sinks were clogging up with just sediment. We'd have to clean the sediment out.
I want to explain this to people because they don't know like I do. You've only been in that house for what, 2, maybe 3 years?
Almost 2 years.
2 years, and that means
hmm
in the house was built. Like you're the first and only owners, right?
Yeah.
So that's brand new appliances.
hmm
After 2 years of running hard water, it was already starting to clog.
Yeah. I mean,
Jeez,
we
man.
had to replace our dishwasher, and when I say replace, we probably could have salvaged it, but her parents upgraded and we got their old one. So in our dishwasher, just it started clogging up the bottom. It wouldn't drain correctly. Like, our water was just like trickling out of our
How'd you know
faucets
that the problem was hard water?
because our neighbors, it's like the whole neighborhood had started having the same issue. It's just because, and it was a brand new neighborhood, and everybody's starting to have, they're starting to see pictures on the neighborhood Facebook page. We get pictures of people that cleaned out um, their faucets and their aerators, and it would just it looked like just sand. It looked like sand,
Wow.
and it was really weird. But you'd clean it, and then it you know 2 days later it'd be back to just super low water pressure. But now it's like our water pressure's just fan freaking tastic.
That's awesome. It's kind of a pain, but man,
It's a
it's
pain, but it's worth the money. Even when we first bought the house, they actually had a guy come in and they did the whole sales pitch where they're like, "You have hard water, you need a water softener," and we're like, I don't, do we really? And and that system was going to cost like $6,000, and we were like, screw that. But
probably the
now
same company.
probably, probably, but yeah, so pretty much everybody in the neighborhood has the same system now installed by the same guy.
So you ended up getting it. Did you end up getting it installed by the first
Mm-hmm.
guy?
Yeah, yeah. It's about $1,400 total, which is pretty damn good.
But he said it was going to be set. Oh, you talking about with the? So 700 labor, 700 for
Yep,
the unit. That's,
yep.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Hopefully somebody listening is maybe if they're having some problems like that, maybe they'll kind
Yeah,
of look into.
I I didn't even know I didn't know any of this shit existed.
It's
I
not
know.
something you can just tell by just looking at the water. Like it's something that happens over time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell. That maintenance shit's important. I fucking
Yeah.
hate doing it, but
It kills it. That's hard water kills all
it
appliances.
it really does. It literally was. It killed my dishwasher, and it was killing my washing machine
Yeah. It's
and
no
my water
joke.
pressure.
It'll kill your water heater, just anything that runs water
Yeah,
runs through. Um, I
I'm gonna
want to
get
talk
another
about
drink.
something that happened the other day, and I messaged you right after it happened. I was actually, I think I was moving some inventory around, kind of cleaning up the office and putting stuff in bins and stuff, and I had moved something, and I think 2 minutes later it sold. Like I just moved something out of the way to be able to put something else in a bin, and it sold. Has that happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's people have always said that though. People have always said like play with your listings. Just do something with your listings, and you'll start getting the sales. And dude, my sales have been since we did inventory, and we went through our pretty much every single item we had, and we got about like I don't know 6, 7. No, we're almost at 1,000 items listed right now. But my sales have just skyrocketed ever since, and stuff that's been selling that has just I even forgot I was selling it. It's stuff that's been so old, but I went through and I started messing with the changing the bin locations, and it wasn't really even changing the listing. It was just bin locations is pretty much what I did. Um, and it started selling. It started selling. So, I mean, I'm definitely a believer of if you got stuff that's been kind of setting, do something to it.
Yeah, it's for me. It's and for a lot of other people I've heard, it's touching it like physically, which is the craziest sounding thing is
Like you talking about like literally like touching with
physically
your.
touching it.
Okay, that's weird. That's
Yeah,
that's dumb. That's
no,
dumb. That's dumb.
no. I I'm gonna make a poll. I'm gonna make a poll on Instagram, and you're gonna find out that you're wrong. I have heard on more than one occasion, more than on 10 occasions, of people talking about just touching their items. And I'm not superstitious and all. Like it's sounds as crazy to me as it does to everyone else. But
That
you
sounds
touch an
crude.
item,
That sounds stupid.
and sometimes it sells.
Well, hey, why don't you
It's
try
happened
it?
more than yeah. I touch everything in my inventory every day.
Just like go into your bins and just.
I I literally just throw stuff on the ground and pick it back up and put it back.
Oh God! I'm gonna make another drink. Can you carry this thing while I go make a drink?
Yeah, I'll carry it by myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make a stinky ice drink. And we're back. And we're back.
And we're back. Got ourselves a fresh drink.
Some of that purple drink. Purple drink. Nah, it's not purple drink.
So, organized crime.
Organized crime.
Let's talk about organized crime.
Why not? Why not?
Organized crime is on,
Last episode we talked about selling drug dealers their supplies.
which I will make that a thing. That will be a thing.
It already is a thing.
No, no, no. It will be a thing.
So you're gonna
though.
call it a drug dealer pack?
Well, I might have to use maybe like street pharmaceutical package. Like street pharmaceutical supply. Anyways, let's not get on that again. Um, organized retail crime. It's on the rise. Like this year,
What is that?
organized retail crime.
Yeah.
That's like groups of people that'll go to go to different retailers like Walmart or Target or whatever, and they'll go as a group to pull off like really big hauls of goods. Some of them we've seen, a basket full of stuff. They just run through the exit door, throw the whole basket in a van, and leave. Like, I
Throw
mean,
the basket in a van?
the
Like
whole
the whole shopping cart?
they don't even take the stuff out of the shopping cart. They just throw the whole thing in there and go. Um,
How is that? That's common.
Very common, very common. And the people are smart too, and they come from all over the place. They come from, I mean, some stories I heard from Miami, St. Louis, and they'll hit multiple stores and they'll do the same thing. They'll like find a weakness in the in the store's operating structure or whatever, and they'll go at certain times that they know that it's the easiest time, and and there's and I think the main thing that's really kind of contributed to it the most is the fact that there's less employees in stores. I mean, you go to any store, and 10 years ago there was a lot more employees, but
I don't know.
as
It depends on what store. You go to Best Buy and they won't shut the fuck up.
that's true, but I think some models are different, and I think ones like Best Buy, those a lot of those folks are probably getting paid on a commission. Um, and those commissions, it allows you to pay the associate a lot less and have them make the commit, so you can afford more, people. That's why you go in a restaurant, there's like 50,000 waiters, they pay them like $2 an hour,
Don't get me
and then
started on that.
and then you
And
get
then
and
you
then you
have to tip them.
yeah, and then we're essentially the customers paying the payroll of the restaurant. But in a retail space, and especially non-commission, it's just getting less and less, and the less associates that are in the store, the more the organized retail crime is going to go up, and the only thing that does is drive prices up, and that's just a death sentence for a brick and mortar store nowadays.
So do you think it's just all um yeah.
You lost it.
No, I just can't think of the word. You think all of this is just a symptom of the decline of the retail brick and mortar?
Yeah, I
Like, I
mean, how
mean, it's
many?
just all related. You get less sales, you have less money for payroll, you can't pay as many employees. Now there's a
Yeah,
gap where people can come in and steal easier.
it's a downward
It's
spiral.
just
Like
everything is kind of
it just compounds. Your problems. You have less sales, you pay less people, but you get even fewer sales, and then your shrink goes up. So your controllable profit is not what it used to be.
shrink
You know, you,
being products that are stolen.
stolen, yeah, and it's a bad time. You sent a link the other day. It was like 4,000 or something stores, I think it was, that are closing. A lot of that's Payless, but there's Sears. Um, I mean, I don't know how many Payless stores, but there's a fucking ton of Payless stores out there.
Yeah,
I don't know how many it is. I can see you looking it up because I
yeah.
can see the reflection in your glasses. But Sears is fucking dead. I don't know how they've lasted this long. I really don't.
I didn't
Um,
think Sears was still open.
yeah,
Um,
no, they're open still.
they even screwed up the online part of their market. They probably could have done well.
Maybe
There's
they're
Sears.com
it's terrible.
is the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
It's way worse than Walmart.com, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's a similar thing. It's like they're trying to copy that whole third party seller type.
I think a lot of companies, like I believe Overstock has third party sellers. What else? Goodness, there's a lot,
There's
like
Jet.
Newegg. I didn't know Newegg was a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
didn't know
different
that one
sellers.
either. I learned that recently too.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, here's the story here. It says more than 4,300 uh well, if it'll load up here. More than 4,300 stores are closing in 2019 as the retail apocalypse drags on. So let's see who all we got here. Sears is supposed to be shutting down 70 stores.
at least.
Destination Maternity, 42 to 67 stores. That's a very
Gymboree,
specific yet non-specific number of stores. No,
Gymboree.
no, Destination
No, no, no.
Maternity.
I'm saying in addition, Gymboree, the kids' clothes stores.
Yeah.
So Gymboree, and they also own Janie and Jack. Those are kind of like boutique retail baby clothes stores. But
Oh,
Gymboree is a pretty big one.
oh, are you reading these or was I?
I'm just saying. I'm adding to it, homie.
Okay, because
Is
there's
it on there?
yeah, there's like 100 stores. I'm gonna read
Well,
off.
keep reading.
Yeah, so shut up.
Continue.
Victoria's Secret, 53
What?
stores. Yeah, I know, right?
That's not good. We always need titty holders.
I know that this is kind of an open forum, and we can kind of say whatever we want. But maybe titty holders is not.
Titty holders and thongs, man. That's all. That's what it's about.
Christopher and Banks, 30 to 40 stores. I don't
That
know.
sounds like a soup place.
Yeah, it
Like you
is.
buy like a
JC,
hoity-toity.
my God, please shut up.
Sounds, now that it's funny you said that because now welcome to my life on this fucking podcast. If you're interrupting
Last
us,
week for sure. I'm doing the editing, and I was doing it today, and I was like, I really didn't shut up. Are you done? Can I
yeah,
continue?
go for it, man.
Okay, thank you. J.C. Penney, 27 stores are shutting down this year. Henry Bindle, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. 23 stores. Beauty Brands, I guess a regional chain of salon and spa superstores. 25 stores. Next slide will load in 13 seconds. Cool. God, why does everything have to be one giant ad these days?
Mm-hmm. That's where all that money is, man.
2,500 Payless shoe stores, 805 Gymboree stores, as you were saying.
There you go.
Shopco. I don't know what
Never.
shop. Yeah, it's Shop KO, all one word. 251 stores. That's a lot. Gap is closing 230 stores.
Gap.
Has
I
been a
heard.
staple.
I heard Gap and Old Navy split.
Didn't
I
know
heard.
they were ever affiliated.
Yeah, they are. And Banana Republic, Gap, and Old Navy are kind of the same thing as like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls.
Okay.
Interesting.
Performance Bicycle, 102 stores.
Oh my God, what am I going to do without my performance bicycle?
I don't know. Charlotte Russe, 94 stores. Sears, 70. Destination Maternity, 42 to 67. That's a weird one. 42 to 67. I'm not sure where they got their numbers from. But who throws out a number between 42 and 67 stores, I'd say. Really? Really? That's not... Kmart. Not sure the last time I've actually seen a Kmart in
I
person.
can't remember. I cannot remember the last time I've seen a Kmart.
I remember the last place there was a Kmart here in town, but I can't tell you. It's been 15 years, I bet. At least 10 years since it's been open. 10 to 15 years. They're closing 50 stores. I'm assuming that's the last 50.
You would think. I mean, the last one was. Do you remember those "shit my pants" commercials Kmart came out with?
What?
They had like a last. It was like during Kmart's like last
Did you say
ditch
shit my
effort.
pants?
No, it was like an online order thing, but they would call ship. SHIP, shit my pants, and like it
That's
was
funny.
like this kind of controversial thing. It was like Kmart's last hurrah that they did, and I believe it was a Super Bowl commercial where they're like, "Oh, hey, you can shit my pants," or "I'm going to shit my pants." Like
That's good.
and it was actually pretty funny. But God, they probably could have spent that money on something else.
Yeah,
But yeah, shit my pants.
that's funny. Let's see here. Lowe's is closing 20 stores. Now that one I find a little bit surprising. Name number one, because you're not gonna get big stuff, like lumber, and I don't know how much of their, you know, how much of their business is actually lumber, but you're not going to get that stuff off Amazon.
Yeah.
A UPS guy is not going to bring you a freaking 2x12. I guess they could bring you a 2x12, but they're not going to bring you something longer than that. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
That's what she said.
that was not.
I mean, it could have been.
No,
It could have been. Can I play? Can I play of a YouTube video on this?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I have to do some reading up on that, but I see a lot of podcasts, the big ones that I follow and listen to, and
Joe
it's
Rogan.
weird. It might be. Sometimes it seems like they can show a certain amount of it, like a certain couple seconds on the screen, and then like maybe more in the audio. I don't know, but anyway, Lowe's is shutting down 20 stores, and that one, like I said, that one surprises me. I just don't. I don't know.
Well,
Why are you
I,
laughing?
I'm sorry, but I'm looking at this. It kind of brings back memories of this shit my pants commercial. So let me just finish this, and we're just gonna do this. So the guy says, "Did you know the salesman? Did you know you can ship your pants?" So it's like from store to home, right? So it comes straight from the store to your house. And the customer says, "Ship my pants." You're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. And then, then that's what the associate says. And the guy turns around to another customer and says, "You hear that? I can ship my pants for free. Wow, I just may ship my pants." And the lady says, "Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too. I I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad." It's like this little kid. She talks to a little kid. Like, "Billy, you can ship your pants too." And then this old couple, it says, "I just shipped my pants and it's very convenient. Very convenient. I just shipped my drawers." It's this old couple. And then this fucking lady says, "I just shipped my nightly, or I just shipped my nighty. I just shipped my bed." It's just people, just like I just, if you can't find what you're looking in for, if you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free. And it was hashtag shit my pants. And it was like, you're going to have to Google that. You're going to have to Google that on your,
how
why,
far how far back are you thinking?
God, I mean, this has to be, damn it. I can't, I don't know. I don't know. This has to be 6, 7, maybe more
Okay.
years old. Um, but yeah, it was a pretty famous Kmart ad, and it's really the last thing I ever. You talk about like the last time you ever saw a Kmart. Like the last time I saw a Kmart was in West Texas, and God, that's been well over 15 years.
Do you remember the blue light specials?
Yeah, I was just about to mention the blue light special, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the blue light went off and you like fucking ran to like a certain location in the store.
Yep.
It's kind of a cool concept.
It's kind of ingenious. Um, yeah, that's something. It's and I don't think it was ever used in any other context. When I say context, I mean any other store.
Yeah.
I don't. It seems like a brilliant idea that, if I was Walmart, hell yeah, I'd have a red light special or whatever. Red light special, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, you
Go with
can't do
that one.
red light. You can't do red
The
light.
red light
Did you
district.
know? Did you know the difference? You know why they call it the red light district?
No, but I have a feeling it has to do with a red light.
Well, they put the red light in the windowsill, and you knew that they
Was a
were offering.
brothel or
Yeah, yeah, you knew that they were offering those services. Just
so.
FYI.
Macy's is closing 9 stores. J. Crew is closing 7 stores. This is kind of getting inconsequential here, but
Mm-hmm.
Kohl's 4 stores. To me, this is. I would think on a good year they would close this many. But Nordstrom's 3 stores, and looks like that's all the stores we have on here. But 4,300 stores altogether. It's scheduled to close this year. You know, I don't know how many close on a yearly basis, but I would say that's a lot.
Yeah, and
Twenty
it's
five
only
hundred of which is Payless.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot. Payless is just fucking everywhere. Uh, 2011 was when that Kmart ad aired,
Okay,
but
so they were
I
well
think
on their way to death. Or
yeah, a lot of them are, man. Fucking a lot of them are. Walmart, Target. It's gonna be mom and pop, like super super specialty shops,
yep.
and then your WalMarts, Targets, you know, and
And those
grocery
mom and
stores.
pops are going to have an online presence too.
I tell you what, I'd love to be a grocery store right now because you're fucking good. I mean,
Why do you say that?
I know the Whole Foods thing, you know, Amazon buying Whole Foods and I say that because I think for way down the line is when you're going to get like groceries, the majority of groceries being bought online. I mean, we can do it. We're just starting the whole like click list or the cart
Do you think it's
whatever.
going to go full? And I kind of go back and forth on this, but I mean, have you ever done the click list or whatever? Do
Mm-hmm.
you buy a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
I think it's a
produce?
terrible idea. I think so. Here's the thing with the produce is in Texas we have HEB. HEB is like the god amongst grocery stores. And the reason why I say that is because when we did ClickList with, I think ClickList is Kroger,
Kroger.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did that. We were not too terribly pleased with the quality of the produce. The HEB, I can't remember what they call it, but they call it
Same thing.
something similar. But the produce that we've gotten from them has been great. But I think as a grocery company, I mean, how much money do you make off of people just impulse? Like, I mean, I go to the grocery store hungry all the time, and I just fucking buy a bunch of shit that
That's a
you
good
know
point. I
I
hadn't thought
wasn't
about that.
I wasn't originally going to buy because I tell you, every single time we've done the click list online ordering thing, we've we always will forget something, always. And I think like the more they push this thing, it's just like I don't know, but I feel like they probably just they know that Amazon with the Whole Foods thing. I think they know that Amazon's going to kind of get into that grocery business big time, which um, they kind of already have, but but I think they're just kind of being kind of proactive when it comes to that. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I think groceries businesses as a whole, you know, we don't even do the clickless thing anymore because we just didn't. We could never really buy everything we needed to buy. We always forgot something.
Yeah. That's a good point that I hadn't even thought of. That never even crossed my mind. It was just the quality of the items that they're picking for you, you know. They those people don't care. They don't care about the
Mm-mm.
expiration dates or anything like that. You know, they're just getting as much stuff into their buggy or whatever to get it out to your car as fast as possible. But that's a good point about buying stuff. You know, that whole Walmart, you know, mentality where you walk in, you kind of forget where you are. You know, you just
Mm-hmm.
walk around aimlessly buying
Well, they
crap.
put they put milk and eggs at the back of the store for a reason. At Kroger, and I'll tell you, and I don't know if you had the same thing, but Kroger for a little bit there, they had a cooler up front on one of the very front end caps that had milk and eggs, and it was, and they did this in the Houston area. I don't know if they did anywhere else, but one of the very first end caps, it was a little tiny 3 foot end cap, and it had milk and it had eggs, and for the people that are running in getting milk and eggs. That's great. But that didn't last long because I haven't seen that in a long time. And there's a reason why they put the milk and eggs way in the back because one, they're losing money. They're not making anything and they're probably losing a little bit of money on the eggs and milk that they sell. But they put it back there so you have to run past all the impulse shit that they want to sell you all the cereal deals or the new salsa that they whatever that they actually make money on.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd be
so
curious to know, like, so why do they lose money on like milk? Because a lot of it goes bad.
well, here's the thing, because I worked in the grocery business for 4 years, I
We worked
think.
in the grocery business together.
Yeah, yeah, we did, but we didn't give a
Way
shit.
early on. We were
We
both
didn't give
bag
a
boys.
shit. Like we didn't give a fuck about anything.
Oh god, that was
Like
a good job.
my
Not
favorite,
good, but it was fun.
yeah, we were cart pushers. But man, I tell you, the thing I loved the most was when I got to throw away the old milk and eggs, because
Yeah.
I got to throw them. Like I got to throw the and Jeff Galbraith, R.I.P. But he always took the gallons of milk, and we just chunk them down the compactor, and they just fucking explode.
Yeah. As
And
hard as you could.
as hard as you could, and eggs and all that. But anyways, um, yeah, we didn't really give a shit. But I worked in the grocery business, for about 4 years. Um, and their margins are just razor thin. Grocery margins are razor thin, and that's why you see a lot of retailers have like
I don't
the
think people
beauty.
know that either. Because
Well,
all we see is this huge bill going up all the time, and I guess it's not really the supermarket's fault. It's the suppliers they have to
yeah,
buy from.
yeah, and you look at, um, a lot of families will make their decisions on who has the lowest priced milk, who has the best priced eggs, who has the best priced bread. And so, I remember specifically the canned goods like the peas, the corns, those little 99-cent things. They losing money on all of it. They lose money
Greens,
on all of it.
beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, rams, lambs, hog, dogs. Um, but yeah, so they lose money on every single bit of that. But they make the money on the meats. They make it on the deli, the baker, the seafood counter. They make the money on, especially, uh, the beauty area. So baby, beauty area, the makeup and all that other shit, and those aisles. And it's one of the reasons why you'll see on end caps and sidekicks they'll have like a pan, like a cooking pan or stuff. Like their margins are 60, 70, 80, maybe even more percent, on those items. And that's where they make their money. They make their money on that stuff. They don't make it on anything else. But you know, I mean, they'll make it on some of the specialty items. But the
Oh man,
base.
some of their little home good stuff, like their little decorations and stuff. I saw
Hmm.
there was uh, we got some those foam pump soap dispensers for the bathrooms a while back on Amazon, and the tops keep breaking on them. They're just shit. Everything is crap these days. It seems like, but
Yep.
they're glass bottom, but the top is plastic, and when you screw it on, the lid, the part with the threads, would just break off. So we were looking for some new ones, and we may have paid maybe $5 a piece for the three that we have. So you're talking $15 at Kroger. They wanted $15 for one,
Yeah.
and I guarantee it cost them, I don't know, 45 cents,
Yeah.
a dollar maybe.
But a grocery store will do, you know, $200,000 a day. And you think,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
But it's
Especially during Thanksgiving and all that, man. I mean they do the huge volume, razor thin
what do you
margins.
think the profit is on $200,000 worth of gross sales?
I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, after everything's paid, I mean, you have a shitload of workers there. You got a lot of payroll. You got a lot of overhead. The building's fucking
A lot of
huge.
electricity, I bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The building is just ginormous, and it's another reason why you'll see especially HB. HB does such a great job because they always build, and then they lease out some of their space. They always lease out some. There's always a nail salon place by the
Yeah,
fucking
there's
grocery
a
store.
Starbucks in our Kroger
Yeah,
and a
and they
sushi
always
place.
yeah, and they always they lease out these places so that it helps them with their overhead cost. And so Starbucks is Starbucks makes a lot of money because they have the traffic, and that's why one of the
Dude, there never have I ever been in Kroger and Starbucks doesn't have a customer or several.
well, that's in the grocery stores. Everybody has to have food. Everybody has to have food. Everybody has to have. I mean, not even everybody has to have gas,
Yeah.
but you got to have food,
Food and toilet paper.
food and poop tickets. Like,
That's another thing that I don't understand why it costs so much. I think it's just like diamonds and everything else is just inflated.
what poop tickets?
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
no way that toilet paper needs to cost as much as it does.
yeah. I mean,
$18 for a 12 or 24 pack? Like
think about
$18?
think about a ream of paper.
Exactly.
One ream of paper is like $2.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be that much.
It can't
And a
be
fucking
processed that much
yeah.
more highly. Yeah.
But I gotta have my high quality poop tickets. So
There is nothing. Yeah, and I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about Sean Evans from Hot Ones,
uh
the Hot Ones TV show.
is he the host?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Then I
So
know
he
him.
was on H3's podcast and they were talking about. I think it was them. They were talking about you can go to a 5-star hotel. And the one thing, they give you 25 different types of lotions and shampoos and face wash and all this stuff. The two things that you're going to either not find or find really shitty quality is you're not usually going to find toothpaste. They don't give you toothpaste. And the toilet paper is like half-ply toilet paper.
God,
Even
it's
in
fucking
the
worse.
most luxurious of hotels across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you skimp on the toilet paper? I don't know.
It's costly. I tell you, but you use a shitload more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem
pun
like it would be
intended.
worth it.
But like you use even like I mean you go to like any type of store, like you use their bathrooms, which I try not to, but sometimes you have to. But yeah, I mean, paper thin, like what the hell?
It's
And so I
like
just
wiping
fucking
your
wad
ass with
that shit up,
cardboard.
man.
Yeah,
Exactly. I wad it up and I just hope my finger doesn't poke through.
if it does, and just get a
And if
little
it does,
treat.
you just don't look and you just run to the sink and wash that shit off.
Oh, that's not what where I thought you were
Oh,
going.
and just as an aside, go to poopreport.com and you can thank me in the comments later.
Poopreport.com.
Poopreport.com.
Either they're gonna thank you or they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna hate you.
Yeah, only go there if you really enjoy poop humor, like I do. I enjoy a good poop joke.
It's literally, if I remember this correctly, just people describing the quantity, girth, consistency
No,
of their
there's
poops.
more to it. There's more to it.
No.
It's like situations that everybody is always in. Like you always have like that one story of when you just almost I mean, you just almost shit yourself, and there's just a crazy story behind it. And that's all it is. It's stories. It's stories about just pooping and the everyday challenges. So, poopreport.com, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's a shitty website, but it's good stuff.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Bah, bah, bah.
God. Do you think I should read one of these online? A poop report story? I mean, it'd probably literally take 2
No.
minutes. 2 minutes.
No. If they like it and they want to hear, put it in the comments below on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, you're shit out of luck. You get it?
No.
Shit out of luck.
I
Anyway,
want to read one of these.
no.
It's
Come on,
Confessions of
man.
a Turd Terrorist.
Not
Like-
everybody wants to hear that shit.
God, I know, but
Okay, In the comments below, if you want to hear a poop report on the next episode, let us know.
If you want to hear confessions of a turd terrorist, then you you let me know, and I'll tell you.
That brings me to my next point.
Turd terrorist. God dang, that's funny.
Oh, that does bring me to my next point. My wife suggested that I don't, tell you when I have to piss next time.
Yeah.
So, we're just gonna leave this awkward. I'm about to
Yeah.
get up. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
Okay, Chief Thunderbutt.
Was that one too?
It's the author. The author's name is Chief Thunderbutt.
Okay, look. Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. If by chance you happen to accidentally read one while we're recording, so
I'm gonna make a drink. No, actually, I think I am gonna read one of these, and this one is called the Walmart Horror. But I find this kind of stuff hilarious. So here's the story. The other day, I was in Wally World picking up a few odds and ends when the need to rid myself of some coffee arose. I never knew shit that big was possible. You're gonna have to cut all that out. That's a fucking terrible idea. That was a terrible idea.
yeah, I had a feeling that wasn't gonna be a good idea, but
Yeah, I well the thing that shitty thing about God, puns are great. The shitty thing about it was I just picked a random story and it wasn't a good one. It was really disgusting.
as are most of the stories
Yeah,
on
but some of them are funny though.
poopreport.com.
Some of them are around like just like funny things, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about driverless the driverless generation.
My daughter will probably never drive a car. It's possible.
Okay, she's 2.5. That gives her what, 14 and a half years ish, depending on if they change.
So 14 years, and you think we're already testing driverless cars? We're testing driverless cars.
I'd say I'd say I'd probably agree.
Yeah. I mean, 14 years from now, I mean, geez, I don't even, with the way that things advance like they do, it's pretty, it's almost a certainty that she won't. Driving a car will probably, they may actually have like, how there's like we went to Disney that one time and they had like the Richard Petty experience or whatever it was, where you could like drive a car around a track for a while.
Yeah.
Like one day there's gonna be like drive a car.
Yeah, drive a car, period.
Yeah, just drive a car, and they're gonna have some like fucking, 2024 model of a Toyota Corolla that people are gonna be like driving around.
Not that far off. It's actually only 5 years away.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Talking about in the future?
Yeah.
Now,
That's gonna be like in the museum. That's gonna be in the museum that they're gonna be like, look at this 2024 model of the.
Imagine
gasoline.
driving a stick.
Dude, I tried that for the first time, and it was harder than I thought it was going to be.
I don't know that I'd admit that on.
No.
Podcasts.
Hey, I have no issues admitting that.
But you should is the problem.
Yeah, my dad decided to train me on like a 700 horsepower Camaro how to drive stick.
This is no bullshit. I will vouch for that story.
It's like,
what is it? Is it a ZL1 or a Z?
It's like some ZL1.
LT1 or something. I don't know about all the Camaros as far as I don't keep up with.
Yeah, I have no clue, but yeah,
I believe it is 700 horsepower though.
Yeah, that was an experience. I didn't know how hard it was to like get the car going, like getting it into first gear and out from turning on the car to actually getting it going, once you get past that, I mean, it's easy. Second,
Yeah,
third
you
gear,
second
whatever.
once you hit second gear,
Yeah,
you're yeah.
there's no issues. But so we're driving in this. We have this parking lot. We're doing the parking lot thing, and I'm just practicing starting and stopping, starting and stopping. And my dad was like, "Hey, if anything happens, left, right, clutch, brake. Like if you ever get in trouble, just remember left, right." And I was like, "Okay," because I've never used my left foot,
Yeah. It's a
and
weird it was
it
weird.
is. It is. And there's like, you got to feel the clutch. Like you really have to feel it. You have to press it. Like I was pressing the clutch all the way to the floor. And my dad's like, you don't have to press it all the way down there. You just kind of have to get a feel for it and whatever. So anyways, so we're doing our thing. And I'm like, I'm getting confident. My dad's like, let's go into the neighborhood. And so we turn onto this little, like, I don't know, the street that goes to the neighborhood, and the fucking second, I turn right onto this road, and it's dark and there's not a whole lot of people around. But the second I turn right, this big fucking 18 wheeler is turning right onto that street. And so, like, I'm staring at an 18 wheeler who has to make this wide ass turn, to make it onto the street. And I've got a motorcycle behind me, and my dad, and it was so funny because I saw it and I'm like, fuck, like I gotta stop this fucking car. And my dad's like, left, right, left, right, left, right. And I'm like, dude, I got
Yeah.
it, I'm cool,
I mean, you're
I'm
only
cool.
driving like a $70,000 car.
At least. And he's like, left, right. And I was like, okay, I got it, I'm good. So I stopped, and I let the 18 wheeler finally finish his turn, and he was going into, there's a bunch of businesses over there. But this this fucking motorcycle behind me, and I'm like, okay, like I've now stopped, but I gotta go again. I gotta get going again, so I can, there's people behind me now, so I start kind of getting a little, I don't know, a little like anxious. And my dad's like, fuck him. Don't worry about him. You're fine. And he's like, just, because he didn't want me to fucking floor it and run the car into the ditch. And he's like, just fuck him. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, and so I was just doing the jerking thing. And, I thought that was
Oh,
kind of like a like a thing that happens in the movies, but that shit's real.
no,
But
100%.
but the car's actually pretty, like, it's very forgiving. Um,
I was gonna
and
say earlier that that newer standard vehicles,
yeah,
some of them are way easier to drive than older ones. Like that Mustang I had,
hmm,
that was a bitch to drive.
yeah,
Yeah, it. Of course, it also had almost 200,000 miles on it, but it
yeah.
was a bitch to drive. But so like my Lexus, uh, is amazing. Like the clutch is light and everything, and it's
Hmm.
smooth. But yeah, so I imagine that Camaro, it's all hydraulic, and hell, some of it might be electronic.
I don't know
It's
what it was, but it had, he said you couldn't, because I was always worried. I'm like, dude, am I fucking your clutch up? Like, what am I doing? Like, because I do stupid, it jerk and shut off. Yeah. And I'm
yeah.
like, dude, I feel like I'm ruining this car. And he's like, dude, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. And, and so, but some of the things that the car has, like the technology, like it has like this rev matching, and so like and I can't remember the specifics because I'm not a car guy, but like when you downshift, the car will automatically rev,
It
to
revs
make
the engine up to match
right.
the speed of the transmission, so it goes in gear and
Yeah,
it
and
helps you slow down. Yeah, it's
yeah, and it
you
sounds awesome.
yeah
Fucking
you
sounds
explained it
cool as shit.
correct.
But then there's also a really cool thing. This car has like I mean, it has full like race functions. Like it has like line lock where you can fucking lock the front wheels and just, do your burnout or whatever. But it does all these kind of cool things. But one of the coolest things was that when the gas, when you launch the car, when the gas pedal is on the floor, you didn't have to use the clutch. Like you were just shifting, back and forth on the,
That's cool.
in the vehicle. And when that thing started pulling, like literally, I thought I'd been my face, like, you get set back into the chair, right? But
Yeah.
like I got set back into the chair, and then my face kind of like started to turn, like it was so fucking cool. Um,
Now
but
you
yeah,
understand why car guys are car guys.
dude, like I was just like I couldn't, and it was one of those things where you have this uncontrollable smile that's on your face. Like you just have this huge smile, and you're like, you just don't
I
even know where.
agree.
I mean, you know where it
You
came from, but
can't stop yourself from smiling.
yeah.
I
And you almost start laughing too.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a buddy that is the parts and service manager for a Subaru and a Lexus dealership over here by our house, and he had, I don't think he has it anymore. I believe it was a WRX STI, and he had done some modifications to it, and I think it was roughly 500 horsepower.
Wow,
Oh, and this is an all-wheel drive car, so there's no spinning out or anything. It goes.
it's a light
So
car too.
yeah.
Pretty light.
So we drove it. Well, he drove it. I rode with him down the street and back, and he got on it a couple times, and once he got on it, I just started giggling. Like
Yeah,
I couldn't, and my, when you're with friends, not us, like we're not really friends, but and you're laughing, and you can't quit laughing, and your
yeah,
face hurts,
yeah.
like because it's almost an involuntary deal. But man, once you take a ride in a car that fast, and that's nothing compared to some cars, like your dad's has like 200 more than that, so it just keeps going up.
Yeah, and I mean, it'd be kind of interesting to do one of those like laps around, like with like a F1 car. They'll have those like two seaters where they'll take fans like a couple laps around the track. Like that's got to be pretty freaking insane. Like I mean, pulling multiple G's around corners, and then accelerating up to 150, however many miles, and then back down to 20, and then up to 100, and then back down to 50. That's got to be pretty, like, that's got to be pretty cool.
Talk about a workout too.
Oh, dude,
You don't realize
absolutely.
how much.
You remember when we did the K1? We
God,
went
that
to
was
a
fun.
K1 racing, which is like these electronic go-karts, and they go pretty fast. But like going around that track, for however many laps we did, like you got out and you're just fucking sweating like crazy. And you don't really even realize, because you're just so focused. But you know, a lot of people give race car drivers shit because they're like, oh, well, they're not athletes. I'm like, they sure as shit are athletes.
Man, you
Like,
gotta. If you don't know what it was, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on JRE. Go listen to that episode. That's a good one.
that was a good one.
He talks
Yeah.
about that. You're in the car for hours upon
Hmm.
hours. And you can't get out. There's no bathroom breaks. There's no, nothing
Nope.
like that.
Nope.
What are you doing over there? You taking dick pics, Bezos?
Yeah, I kind of am. But yeah, I think that's something that's pretty cool. What were we talking about before we got on that?
Driverless. The we were
Yeah,
talking. Yeah,
driverless cars.
yeah. So you said that you believe that your daughter may never drive a car.
Yeah, I don't think she will. I really don't think she will. I
So
mean,
you think within 15 to 20 years that dri- what are we going to call driver cars? You think the driverless cars will have taken over
hmm
fully?
yep. Imagine an Uber service that they just cars just with no driver just show up to your house and you just hop in and go. I mean, imagine the efficiency of a company like that, not having to pay any labor, for actual drivers.
After
I
you get
mean,
the cars paid for, yeah,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
there's for sure there's a ton of upfront costs, but man, that's gonna be a very strange thing. But it's also gonna be a pretty cool thing because you talk about like stress, like being able to just chill on your phone or chill, like just kind of hanging out and relaxing and just letting the cars just kind of do their thing. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Man, being a car guy, I have a natural aversion to any driverless
Yeah, I'm
technology.
sure. I'm
I
sure.
mean, and I know
I'm sure.
I I don't know. I have an aversion to it just because I like the experience of driving. But I do understand safety, just like we talked about, in a couple episodes back about football. Was that last episode actually? I think
That was last episode. Yeah.
episode 12. Talk about CTE. And football players. You just kind of things have to evolve. They have to change, and I understand that with cars. Um, Driverless though, it really
They were talking about
irks me.
CTE. One of the They're talking about CTE and how like, yeah. I mean, I played football. I think in like fourth or fifth grade, and they were talking today on one of the sports radio shows. They're like, man, like if adults at 20, 20, 30, 40 years old are being protected because they're concerned about concussions and things of that nature, like, how could you put your third grader or fourth grader in like a situation where they're having helmet to helmet contact? Like, could you imagine the effect on their brains as opposed to like a fully developed brain?
Do you not remember the conversation?
Mm-mm.
It was actually episode 11 because episode
What was it?
episode 12 hasn't come out yet. Um, yeah, I'm working on episode 12 right now. So, but anyway, yeah, you don't remember the entire conversation we had about CTE and me saying that
Maybe not. Maybe not.
tackle football is most likely going to be
No, I
gone.
remember you saying that. I remember, but it won't be gone. Okay, so yeah, I
How
remember what you're
so?
saying, but I think tackle football, like up until I mean up until high school, I think that's gonna be gone quick. Because I
Well,
mean,
how
I
how
played football. I played football in like third or fourth grade. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, we had helmets that just didn't fit right. We had whatever, and I mean, I remember just getting kind of dinged and being a little woozy. Like, I mean, imagine what effect that would have on someone that young, versus someone that's fully adult, fully grown. I mean, it's all going to change. I still see high school. I still see high school football still staying full contact, but I think the rest of it's totally flag football.
I bet high school would be right behind the Pee Wee stuff. Pee Wee on up into high school.
Yeah, it probably
It's gonna have
it
to change, man.
It probably get to that, but it does have to
See,
change.
you have an aversion to them doing away with tackle football, just like I have an aversion to driverless vehicles.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Like you know the downside, and you also know the upside.
Yeah, I mean, you think of how many drunk driving incidents wouldn't happen with
Texting,
it.
I would say that texting. There's more texting accidents now than there is anything.
Yeah, probably,
I see. It's got to be. I see people drift off the road on a daily basis
dude.
now.
It's
That didn't
it's so
used to happen.
crazy. It's so crazy when I see people driving with their knees and they got their phone in front of their two
In
inches in front
Houston,
of their
I can't
face,
imagine.
2 inches in front of their face, and they're like driving with their knees, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm gonna fucking lose it.
And then they
But
come out of it for a split second to realize they're coming in your lane, and then look at you like you're the idiot.
yeah, and I think I listened to the Elon Musk Joe Rogan podcast again, and I was listening to kind of what man. And I don't know when you get to like the end of that podcast, like I was kind of like I felt sorry for Elon Musk because he just like he kept saying like it just doesn't stop, like his brain doesn't stop, like it just keeps going and going and going, and like the one thing that he wants is to do things that people love. Like he wants to create things that people love, and he wants to, and so one of those things, like for instance, the tunnels in Los Angeles, or like the stupid flamethrowers, it's something as stupid as that. But like But I think of him being just kind of that lead pioneer into this world where, you know, all that stress that's been given to all these people that you experience on a daily basis, like what you're saying, like people texting just kind of pisses you off, and or people doing certain things. Like imagine all that stress and all that frustration solved by driverless vehicles. Like that's pretty cool. And now I understand the other part of it is driving's fun. You know, I mean, and having souped up cars and doing your thing is cool too. You know, but man, that's gonna be.
I don't think the frustration will be gone.
I
I
think it
think it'll be
will.
directed. I think it'll be directed in another way.
How?
Think about this. So we didn't have social media 15 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were still mad at stuff. You know,
What
we
were
still
we?
got,
What were we mad at?
I don't know, having to go to work, being
Oh, we're
friends,
mad at that today.
being
We're mad
friends
at
with
that.
Jeff.
No, tell me what we were mad at back
I
then.
don't know. It's just there's always something, you know. Okay, so here's an example. So 15 years ago, we had cell phones. They were slow as shit. They didn't do anything, but we didn't know any different. Now, if you get a slow connection on your cell phone, last episode, you were trying to play something and it wouldn't play because
Mm.
your Wi-Fi was being slow. We're talking about seconds. I think the human condition is to be pissed off. I think we're always gonna have something to be
That's
pissed off
probably
about.
you're probably that's probably true.
I mean,
That's
it'll be
probably
something.
true.
You know what? We got these driverless cars. You know, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is step in and out of them, and people are gonna be like, "Why do I have to step in it?
It's like watch the movie
Why can't I
Wally.
teleport?"
Watch the movie Wally. Like, that's such
I
a
think
good.
you've told me that
I
before.
did. I did. It's such a good movie. It's such a fucking good movie.
If it's on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime, I'll watch it.
I don't know what it's on, but I think it's on one of them because we watched it on one of them. We didn't pay for it, but if you haven't seen the movie Wally, I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Yeah, I
But
don't because I definitely haven't.
it's a kids movie that's also an adult movie. Like and I think when I think of that, I think of like the Shrek movies.
I think of
Like
all kids' movies now.
yeah, but not. I mean, maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of them. But I think like the Shrek, there was some really adult humor in there that you didn't that kids would not get. Like
Right.
there's really not a whole lot of adult humor in How to Train Your Dragon, which we saw. My daughter has this thing about dragons, so we had to go watch that. So there wasn't a whole lot of adult humor in that, but there was a ton in Shrek, ton of like innuendo and stuff that kids wouldn't pick up on. Um, but Wally is a movie that kids would love, but the entire movie is almost an adult theme. And by an adult theme, I mean like an intellectually adult theme, not like, sexual or anything like that. It's like, hey, this is what the human race could become. So you better just kind of be aware of
It's a
where we're
cautionary
headed.
tale.
It really is.
Yeah.
What was that movie? Damn it. What was that movie?
Idiocracy.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. It's almost the same
We're
thing, but it's
living it.
animated. It's
We're
fucking
living
great.
idiocracy.
What was that little green stuff they called? What was that green drink that they called?
I don't know. That whole movie was pretty
That movie
far.
was great.
It was far fetched, but it was not far fetched now.
Yeah, that movie's great. Wally's kind of along the same line.
So that was it on your driverless generation.
Yeah,
About all you have.
yeah, pretty much.
So, well, we talked about a couple things. How about we talk about something that was announced today that wasn't announced to everyone, which would be eBay Open 2019.
Which I'm not going.
Yeah, I think I made the decision not to go either. I wanted to go. I would love to meet, people that listen to our podcast. I'd love to meet a lot of other resellers and all. But $350 a ticket. That's $700 for me and my wife. That another, call it $400 in plane tickets, plus another, what, $500 to $800 on other
Yeah,
stuff surrounding, meals that they don't pay for, or that aren't included, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you're talking $2,000 $2,500 for an entire trip. I
it's too
can't.
much.
Yeah.
It's too much. We went last year and we had fun last year. Like it was fun, but it was fun because we did some other things other than eBay Open. Like just FYI, if you ever have a chance to watch the show Absinthe at Caesars, it's phenomenal. But we enjoyed Vegas while we were at the eBay Open. And eBay Open, we paid. We got an email early 2018, and it said, "Hey, buy your tickets now before the price goes up." And it was like $280-ish. So we paid it. The rooms were $90 a night at the Mandalay Bay. We decided not to stay there. We stayed in I don't know where the hell we stayed. I think we stayed at the Bellagio or something. We had like some kind of free room or whatever. Um, but eBay Open, it was a cool thing to experience. It was cool because it was a convention. They served really good food, um, and they fed you, and it was an all day thing. You went in and you had when you went to breakfast, there was like 50 booths. All the booths were all the contributors to the eBay Open, like um, Loan Builder. A bunch of different types of shipping companies. The post office station was there, and I was like, those people were, I don't even know why they sent representatives for the post office. Like, they're just as useless as the actual post office workers that work in the post office. But
Hey, I
anyway,
like my post office workers.
well, then you got good ones because
I
I've
really
never
do.
met a good one.
I am. You
you
gotta
should
you gotta
be
befriend them.
you should be blessed. But
I am.
anyways, um, but there was a lot of they had a lot of different things, and so you kind of worked into this big open convention area, had breakfast, you met with some of these vendors, and then you went to like classes, and you could choose what class you wanted to go to, like whether it's a class on uh, like shipping on or a class on the new tax laws. The thing was huge. The whole Wayfair Act was big last year. It still is, but it was brand new. So they had the people that actually went to Capitol Hill, that represented eBay. They were there to talk about it. Um, and it was fun. It was fun, but the one thing that really turned me off this year, and I knew I wasn't going to pay. I definitely was going to pay more than I paid last year. But one of the things that really kind of pissed me off was that at the end of each day, you would go to the big auditorium and they would have eBay executives, eBay people like come up and they would give like a speech and do whatever. And they talk about all the different cool things, a lot of demographic information like, hey, the buyers are this and the Generation X and millennials are doing this and blah, blah, blah. And it was all good information. But one of the things they talked about multiple features that they were going to implement and that were coming like in the year. And we just got a seller update for the buyers being able to send offers to the seller. And you being able to send offers to the buyers. Like, so people that are watching your item, you could send an offer to them. And that was something they talked about last year at eBay Open. And they're just now implementing it. The other thing was, you could have like a virtual, you could give people access to your eBay, my eBay page, and you could tailor that to what you want them to see, what you don't want them to see. This, so you could
So
have
like a
workers,
VA or a worker, yeah.
yeah. So you could have workers or VAs like listing and doing things for you. and I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. So, you know, the main thing I got out of it was I got concierge, uh, you know, privileges, which is great. You know, I
Why
pick
don't
up
you
the
go ahead and
phone.
tell them what that is? If I'm sure a lot of people don't know.
Concierge is like it's a dedicated call center, and I believe it's in Utah, where you speak to an American citizen, somebody who, and you don't have to wait online on the, on hold forever. They get right to you, and I mean, they've been great. They've been great. And so, it's kind of just a dedicated phone support for people who have this concierge, and you get it by being an extremely high volume seller or apparently going to eBay Open, because the 2017 eBay Open was the first year that they gave it to everybody that attended. And so last year they said everybody was, so happy with that, we're going to give it to everybody this year. So it stands to reason that they're going to get it, that they'll get it this year as well. It's a very nice, it's a really nice feature, because when a customer has to return something and it takes forever and they don't return it the amount of time allotted them, I mean, it's a quick 5-minute phone call and they've canceled that return. Whereas if you don't have the eBay concierge, like, you may be waiting a little bit uh, to get that resolution.
Yeah, it
And
seems
it can be frustrating.
invaluable.
It can
If
be
you're
frustrating,
a
yeah.
volume seller though. Um, and I just thought while you were talking, I just thought about, I may just buy one ticket to eBay Open. I mean, $350 to be able to get concierge service. Not. I'm not even gonna go. But if I buy the ticket, I
Yeah.
wonder. You know,
You get it. You'd get it, because it's not like
I'd
they
pay
took
three
your,
hundred fifty dollars for a lifetime of concierge service. Shit, you
yeah,
kidding me?
it's not like they take your information down, like at the place or whatever. Like,
Whether they give you like your name tags and all that kind of
right.
stuff.
It's all behind the scenes. And now I didn't get we went in June, July last year, I think.
July.
Uh July last year, and we didn't get the concierge until September. Late September, so there was a couple months there, in between, but it was nice. But when I saw the price tag of $350 per ticket, and the room rate has increased, which I believe it's $100 a night now.
And
So
that's
not only,
supposed to be a
and
discounted
that's the
rate.
discounted rate at Mandalay Bay. So not only is the room rate increased, but the eBay Open ticket price has increased. Um, and I don't see any reason. I just don't see it. They had, even last year, like, they had this end of the conference party where you could go to this place and it's a big party and whatever, and they had cover bands, right? Well, they were talking about, like, before, like, they had like Bare Naked Ladies, like the band, like, play. They had like these headlining bands, like, that they would they would hire to come play at this big, like, into eBay Open bash. And so, like, I see, like, the decrease in quality of the eBay Open, but now we're seeing an increase in the pricing. And it's like, if you told me that at the end of eBay Open, and I'm a Dave Matthews Band fan, so don't hold that against me, but, like, if Dave Matthews was paying at the end of like, dude, like,
You'd pay
I'm
three
good.
fifty
I'm
all
there.
day.
I'm there. I'm there. But I guarantee you, whatever they got going on the last day, it's going to be some cover band. It'll probably be an open bar, which, whatever. But it's probably not going to be the greatest. I think the coolest thing was, the thing that made it worth it last year was you got to meet some cool people. Like, we got to meet some really neat, people, and hear some of their stories. But
Did you gain many contacts or anything out of?
not really. But we
No.
weren't really that active in seeking them either.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really try. And one other thing that fucking really pissed me off with some of the presentations that they had is they had, a lot of times they'll have like panels, like in certain the classes. Talking about the classes that you can pick to go to. Some of the panels that they had was really it really pissed me off because they'd have like two people up there that were like legit resellers, and they started their own business and they're selling car parts or they're selling stuffed animals or whatever. And then they'd always have this fucking douchebag from like some like like national brand, and he has nothing to do with the starting, but he's like an account rep, and he's up there talking about how they do their eBay business and all this other shit. And I'm like, none of these fucking people care about you. Like, I can't remember what he was, but he was a part of some like national chain, but he was just like a sales manager or something, and they put him up there on the panel,
No
and he
idea
was,
what he's talking about.
yeah, and he's like, I'm like, dude, you're not fucking eBay. Like you, okay, like if I'm Walmart and I want to sell, or let's use Toys R Us when they were selling on eBay. Toys R Us can sell on eBay, but I mean that's not like what we do. That's not what we do. That's not what our. I mean, my office looks like a fucking pigsty right now because of all the stuff that I've sourced and I resell and I buy and I resell. These people, and he wasn't the only one, but there was multiple classes where they'd have like one person up there and he's just like some like account representative that's like, hey, I represent this company and this is what we do. It's like, I don't fucking care. I'm not a Fortune 500 company selling on eBay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So
Like,
basically,
I don't
it's
want to hear
not
from
worth
you.
it,
I
in
don't
your
want to hear from
opinion.
you. I don't want to hear from you. But no, it's if it's if it's your first time going, it might be worth it
See, I was
because it was
debating.
fun. It was fun.
It's this year. It's July 23rd through the 25th, and I was really debating on going. I wanted to go for several reasons. To, like I said, to meet people, to meet our listeners, to meet other resellers, everything, and to get the concierge. Um, but it's just like, we're also gonna go to ASD, which is what is it, Affordable Sourcing Destination Conference or show. It's basically just an industry show that a ton of people go to that are Amazon sellers mainly, and sellers to, I guess, Shopify and everything else. But I was wondering, and usually those two shows back right up to each other. I think you said last year that the day that eBay opened closed, the next day ASD started.
Yeah.
That's not the case this year. This year, eBay Open starts on the 23rd, ends on the 25th, and ASD doesn't start till the 28th. So you're talking 2 days worth of, food, hotel, entertainment, everything that you're going to have to be out just to get to the next show. So it's like,
It's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money. ASD, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, or somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe ASD is a free show. Most of those kind of vendor shows and stuff are. But, so you're just paying hotel and food and drinks, whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever entertainment you want. But I really think that will be the more beneficial show to go for us as aspiring Amazon entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I think it's good if you just kind of want to experience it and you want to you want to have kind of like a reason to
You talking about eBay Open?
yeah, to expense a trip to Vegas, which was nice. We had a lot of fun, but yeah, it's not for everyone, and I mean at 350 I can't say it's worth it. There's a lot of shit they're going to tell you about all the good stuff that's happening, and then it's just like it just doesn't happen.
I seriously will probably buy a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And eBay is not my main gig, but I do always keep it in the back pocket, because if anything happens to Amazon, it's going 100% eBay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just gotta have those. You gotta have that backup. That kind of brings me to one of my points that I was going to talk about. Don't ever stop trying new things. Don't ever stop trying new techniques of sourcing. Don't ever stop, trying different business models. If you're not, where you want to be, just keep trying stuff. Eventually, something's gonna fall. You're gonna fall into the path that you want to be on. Just keep trying stuff. Don't give up. It's a bitch sometimes. This business is definitely not easy, which no business is really, but there's no
No,
easy
there's
money out there.
there are ups and there are downs, and there's some big ups and there's some big downs.
Yeah,
And we just kind of roll with it.
you got to. If you're running around complaining and moping and woe is me everything, just quit. No
Yeah.
bullshit. Just fucking quit right now, because you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Just quit.
And for the people that can make it through that, like, I mean, most people fail at it just because they kind of give up. But for the people that can, like, push through that type of some of the hardships and obstacles that come in your way, there's money to be made.
Yeah, it's a mindset. It's a
And,
mindset, man.
it's only going to get worse.
It's gonna get way worse, especially RA and OA.
Big fucking time.
You better start if you're doing Amazon right now, and you're familiar enough with RA and OA. You better familiar enough to know how Amazon works and to know how to send shipments in and all that stuff. I'd recommend you start transitioning to PL and wholesale, because Amazon is kind of like this. Say you're at imagine a rodeo, and within that rodeo you have different pins. That biggest part of the stadium, that biggest pin, is going to be RA, OA, wholesale, or excuse me, RA and OA. Then inside of that pin, you're going to have PL and wholesale. Really wholesale, and then inside of that, PL. What you're doing by doing each one of those things, say RA, you've got a whole bunch of people to compete with. OA, you've got a whole bunch of people to compete with. You narrow it down a little bit to wholesale, you've got another gate between you and those, anybody that wants to walk in the door. Wholesale, there are, it's like another fence. It's like another obstacle you have to get through. So, being that, you have less competitors in that space. Once you go down to the PL level, it's even a smaller gate. So you have even less competitors. Plus, you're not really competing against people on that listing. You're just competing against other people that have that type of product. So if you get your listing down and you have good reviews and you don't get sabotaged by every way in the book, then you'll be better. But RA and OA, once these big stores start falling like they are, there's going to be more clearance, there's going to be more liquidations, and there's going to be more competition.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Last thing we got on here, man, is listing frequently. That's you.
Fucking list. Just list once a day. Just once a day. Like, literally, like, if you just have, like, shit laying around, just literally once a day, just list something.
Like one listing.
Even if it's just one. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I've got. God, you should look at this. But I have.
What's your reasoning behind that?
I just think that eBay, the more active you are, the more that the algorithm just kind of works in your favor. So if say for instance I list like 500 items and then I don't do anything for months, like I just feel like if eBay doesn't see any of that activity, I feel like it just drops your listings.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think even if it's just one item, if you have a big ass death pile, I have a big death pile. Most people have death piles somewhere where it's just like they just don't want to tackle because they just can't get started on it. Just try to just force yourself to do one item. Take 5 minutes, do one item, and just be done with it. Because I
Yeah.
really think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. It's just like doing
Um,
the first push up, you know?
yeah, that's true. And
One,
your other stuff's gonna start selling. It'll
yeah.
start selling.
It does too, man. I tell you what, you have one thing sell, you make a little edit or whatever, like you were saying, you bring a
Hmm.
price down just a little bit or something, and you just start seeing it boom, boom, boom. It's like, why this other stuff has nothing to do, with the one that sold. It's just like a chain reaction. It's just, I think, and I think I've said this before. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but there's so many sellers out there, and this goes for Amazon more, I think, than it does for eBay. But there's so many sellers out there, and there's only so many buyers, right? I'd say there's more
Hmm.
buyers than there are sellers, but um, you know, you have these people's eyes for a limited amount of time. You can't show all these buyers every single seller's item. You can't do it. So these
Hmm.
computers and these algorithms are having to pick what they're going to show. And I'm telling you, I see it all the time on Amazon, and we'll talk, daily about, hey, if you got any sales today, hey, if you got
Yeah.
any sales today, and it's almost every single time when I'm down, you're down. We don't sell the same things, but it's almost every single time. The other guys in the group, almost every single time when one of us is down, the other one's down, and it seems like when one goes up, the other ones go up. It's like, I don't know if it's buying patterns or what it is, but
It's something.
yeah,
It's something. You're never gonna figure it out, but it's something. Like I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is.
it's not made up for
Mm-mm.
sure. Something's
Mm.
going on,
Oh,
but it seems like the more, and even on Amazon too, when something sells, it seems like it triggers something else to be sold, like to be bought. It's like, I don't know. And they have
yeah.
regions and stuff too.
True.
Amazon's,
True.
so you get shown stuff that could be in a warehouse close to you because Amazon, they're all about making money, and the less distance they have to ship something, the less money they have to pay.
It's like I mean, one of the things that, and I don't know if this correlates to what you're talking about, but you talk about like targeted advertising. God, that Wade's Ventures had that stupid desk. What's that desk called that he has?
Is it the
Something
Vero
like
desk or something?
Evo Lift or something. I don't
Yeah,
know what the hell it is. But I have like nothing but like
those
ads all over
desks.
my phone for those fucking desks. Like, I mean, these computers are a lot smarter than we think they are. They're picking up on a lot of different, like you were saying, like a lot of the algorithm is probably super fucking complex, and so I really think it's if you're really kind of curious about your sales and why maybe you're not doing as great as you think you should be doing, just fucking list.
Just
Just list.
talking. Oh, just talk around your phone and just say, "Hey, I'd like some sales today.
I've tested that.
Please,
I've tested
sir.
that.
Can I have another?"
Please, can I have some more? Yeah.
You've talked to your phone.
All the time.
You tell it to please give you sales,
Of course.
and it does
Absolutely.
work, or
Sometimes.
sometimes, yeah. You know, um, man, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. Usually, I don't find out until I start editing. You know, I think it's going to be a bad one, but it could be a good one.
They usually are.
Just generally,
They
all bad.
usually are. Pretty much.
What are you
I
gonna
had
do?
fun though. I had fun.
Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It still doesn't
All right.
change my outlook on our friendship.
That's true. That is definitely true.
It's almost something that never happens.
Hmm.
Me, actually
I
wanting to
don't.
be.
I don't care. I don't care.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, so that does it for episode 13 of TRC.
TRC episode 13 in the
Yay, yay.
books. Whacking and stacking and
Flip flacking, flapping jacking.
What was it you said a couple episodes ago?
I can't remember.
It was good. I
Can't
was
remember this
hoping we
whiskey.
could end every
Whiskey's
episode like
hitting me pretty hard right about now.
a lightweight,
But
my
hey,
friend.
yeah, maybe. But I
It's
think
not a
if I
bad
drink
thing.
I think if I drink like a half a bottle of whiskey and it didn't affect me, I'd probably have big problems. Like it was like, man, I drank half of this whiskey and I'm like not even buzzed. Then I think we got a problem there.
Yeah. Yeah, we may have a different type of show on our hands.
That's true.
Maybe an
That is true.
intervention podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. We'll
All
cross
right.
that bridge when we get there.
That we will, sir.
Have a good night.
Peace out, dog.
To the listeners, have a good day at work or whatever.
Have a
you're
good
doing.
listen.
Have a good night. Have a good one.
Yes. Have a good listen.
Well, we're at the end.
Well, then then they have listened.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and there's another episode out, I would say maybe listen to that one too.
Maybe.
You know.
Just click that like button.
Oh,
That's all we
like.
care about.
I do want to say that, you know, we're not gimmicky. We don't push shit. We don't have courses. We don't ask for any money or anything. What I would like to ask, you know, on the behest of me and Mr. Jethro, just share this stuff. If you like our content, let somebody know. You know,
Share it, dog.
share that shit. Make a shirt. Share that
Share
shit.
that.
Share that shit.
Sponsored
The
by
Reseller Collab
PoopReport.com.
podcast. What did you say?
In collaboration with the
PoopReport.com.
PoopReport.com
Oh, God.
and Turd Terrorist everywhere.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's...
poop podcast. We should have a poop podcast, really. That'd be kind of interesting. We call ourselves Turd Terrorist. All right. Well, that's it. Have a nice night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, talk to you next time.
Cut all that out. Bye.
Goodbye.
Turd Terrorist.